Welcome back to the Fantasy Football Formula. Today we are going to be reviewing the NFL awards markets, giving you our favorite early look bets. I think this is the best time to be betting the NFL awards as it gets closer to the season. Throughout the summer, these markets will just get much sharper. They kind of already have since they were released, but there's still some good numbers on the board. So we're going to share some of our favorites with you. We're gonna go through all of them. I think there's like what, 7 awards.
Yep.
And we're gonna give you one or two at each award. So who wants to kick us off? I guess we could start off with the big one, which is MVP.
LeBron James.
All right,
The
Nick's
true
sharing his
MVP.
pick. What odds can you get on him?
He's actually not on the market because he's such a lock.
All right,
I
Nick,
guess I'll start it out. At plus 1400, I think is great value for this player. He's getting one of the best receivers back in Calvin Ridley. And we're going to go with Trevor Lawrence here to win MVP. Doug Peterson, I think he's a tremendous coach. We see them investing in their offensive line in the draft, picking up Anton Harrison, a big tackle out of Oklahoma. It's going to give T-Law some more time to hit Calvin Ridley or Zay Jones running streaks down the sideline. I think this is his breakout year. We started to see it at the end of last year when they made their playoff run, but I think with the addition of Calvin Ridley, I love Tank Bigsby kind of adding some power to their backfield and kind of opens up ETM to play that true passer role. So I think all the stars are aligning here for Trevor Lawrence to go for an MVP run this year.
Fun fact, you can give on FanDuel at plus 1600.
That's what I was going to say too.
Nick,
Yeah.
you gotta shop
Yes.
those lines better. Come on now.
All right, we'll go to FanDuel. I'm a DraftKings faithful.
All right, Corey.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the should have been he would have been Super Bowl MVP if they would have won. I'm going Jalen Hurts at plus 1200. I think I mean Shane Steichen gone now. We'll see how it, impacts their offense. I think Jalen Hurts, he took a huge leap last year, and I think he takes even a bigger leap this year. I think, in terms of his rushing ability, and the way he's progressed as a passer, I think at plus 1200, I mean, he could have easily like 50 touchdowns this year in terms of like combined 50 touchdowns. That's more than what Joe Burrow would have. That's more than maybe just slightly more than what Patrick Mahomes would have. Definitely more than what Justin Herbert would have. So, I mean, those are 3 players in front of him that have, lower odds, with someone that, can put up 1,000 yards rushing, 8 to 10 touchdowns rushing, and then also like 40 passing touchdowns in that offense. I think at plus 1200 is very, very good odds.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah, I don't hate either
Alex?
of those. Mine's one of the odds-on favorite. I just think it's Joe Burrow's year at plus 700 on FanDuel. He's odds-on favorite with Mahomes and Allen, so it's not like a wild take by any means. But I think this is the year he puts it all together. He's going to want to show the Bengals why they signed him to this eventual giant contract, and it'll be his 3rd year in this offense now, and we've seen what he can do already. And I just think it's time.
Yeah, love all the picks so far. Like if I was going to take someone from the AFC, probably would be Joe Burrow. From the NFC, so like to win MVP, typically you need to be the number 1 seed in whichever conference. And in the AFC, I only see that being the Bills, Chiefs, or Bengals. So Nick, I like Lawrence, but I just don't think the Jaguars' time is just yet. I think it's like around the corner. But in the NFC, it's a little more wide open. And yes, I think Hurts is a solid bet at plus 1200. But the next team that I think has a chance to really compete for that number 1 overall seed is the Cowboys. So I think Dak at plus 2000 is my favorite value bet because that's what when you're looking to see who wins MVP, it's going to be someone that gets that number 1 overall seed. And I just think the AFC is a little bit too competitive, and NFC is more open. And for you guys that like Brock Purdy, I just want to say he's plus 7,500. And if you think the 49ers are going to be up there competing, I mean, I don't know how you guys didn't mention him.
He might not play.
The 49ers don't need a MVP quarterback to be a solid team.
Yeah, I guess you're right. That's the one system where you might not need it, but
so what are Sam Darnold's odds now that we're talking about it?
I mean, they've very confident. Like they think he might be ready by week 1 or week 2 at the latest.
Today, yeah,
it's gonna be Purdy. Like that's gonna be their guy.
I mean,
so I'm just saying for you Purdy believers.
5,000 on FanDuel.
What?
Trey Lance is plus 5,000 on FanDuel.
Yeah, I don't. It's kind of crazy to me that Trey Lance.
That's what you call a trap line.
Yeah, that's a complete trap. Like they're saying Purdy is the start. Like they're very confident in saying that.
Okay.
So I just wanted to throw that out there because I thought that was pretty crazy for people that believe in the 49ers.
He did go undefeated, so
What?
he did go undefeated.
Yeah. So all right, so that's MVP. Let's move on to offensive player of the year.
Yeah. So tagging off of the 49ers, faithful, CMC at plus 2,000 feels like a great bet for this. In the 12 games that he played for the 49ers, including the playoffs, 174 carries, 865 yards, 54 receptions, 481 yards, and 11 touchdowns. So if you expand that out to a 17-game season, he's got almost 2,000 yards from scrimmage and 16 TDs. Obviously, we talked about their quarterback play a second ago. Who knows what they're going to get from Brock Purdy? Who knows if they go to Trey Lance eventually? We'll see. But one consistent in that offense is CMC and utilizing him heavily every single game. So plus 2,000 seems like pretty good odds on that one.
Just to stay healthy, and that's a pretty good bet. I know he stayed healthy last year, but
right. Yeah. I mean, you could say that for any player going in.
No, yeah, definitely. But
yeah, there's some history there for sure.
A little bit of history there.
Yep.
It's crazy how good of stats he still puts up with guys like Debo, who play kind of a similar role.
Yeah.
And then obviously like Ayuk, I think had a breakout year last year. He's definitely taking a step forward. And then you got Kittle, like so many big playmakers, and that guy still puts up numbers like he's the only player on offense. So I could definitely see that one. The guy I went to, I kind of went the opposite way with that methodology though. And I think he's probably the best playmaker on his offense and maybe one of the only, like one of two. And it's Garrett Wilson. I think with the addition of, Aaron Rodgers, that's going to help him out a lot. But I was just so impressed with what he was able to do with like not a good quarterback. And now that you get Aaron Rodgers, obviously reigning MVP, we know his skill. He's obviously set up to be like the next Devontae Adams, put up that level of stat line. So I think from a progression perspective, everyone's going to be looking at Garrett Wilson this year as like the next Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. I think we're going to start talking about this guy as a tier 1, tier 2 receiver. So I think just from the progression that's going to give him this year, I think that's going to win him Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah. I liked Garrett Wilson. I was going to mention him, but since you did, I'll pivot here. I'm going to go a little bit further down the board to a running back on a pretty good offense in terms of where he'll be utilized. And there's a lot of speculations that he would be gone, but he's remained with the team. Austin Eckler at plus 6,000 every single year. I understand they added Quentin Johnson to the receiving core, and he may get some targets taken away from him. But what I would say is like, dude, every single year that he does play like a full season, he's a top fantasy running back. And in terms of at plus 6,000 right now, if he has a solid, first half of the season, 12 games or so, like you could get that good cash out value as well on that. And I think he potentially has to be like the RB1 on the year in terms of, catches, touchdowns as well. I mean, he does everything. He does everything out of the backfield for that team. There was a couple of games where, he gets some things vultured, but I mean, he's the clear bell cow there. And at plus 6,000,
Where are
that's
you seeing the plus 6,000?
FanDuel.
Serious?
Yeah.
Is he on DraftKings?
Plus 1,500.
Yeah. Offensive player of the year. Plus
Hang on.
6,000 for Austin Eckler.
Yeah, I mean that's an insane discrepancy between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like I mentioned, he could be RB1, and if he doesn't finish, like DraftKings has him at plus 1,500. Like if you were to bet, the $100 on it now, that's to win 6,000. Like you could get insane cash out value for that. So I like it for the value. I think he's way too high.
60K.
Sorry, 60K.
Yeah. Even
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm about to bet that right now.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
looking
it's
for
6,000.
this.
It's 6,000 now because I'm 60K.
Plus
1,000 would be 60K.
right.
I don't know why. Oh yeah, there it is. Plus 6.
A lot of
That,
zeros.
dude, that is an amazing find, Corey. I don't know how I must have just like completely skimmed over that because that is too big of a discrepancy between. I'm gonna actually check BetMGM right now and see what their odds are because that just might be a massive mistake. They might have that priced as if they don't know where Austin Eckler's going yet, which we know he's staying with the Chargers now.
Yeah.
Hang
So
on.
the other one I was going to mention was Tony P at plus 4,500. I mean, number one back in Dallas. You've seen what he's done, with Zeke there, now without Zeke there. I think that's really high too. I mean, the best running back in the league is at plus 2,000, and like Tony Pollard, could be up there as well.
Yeah,
So
I like that one. I don't know why I can't. Oh, futures. Okay, hang on. I have to check this because this is like boggling my mind right now.
is there any other long shots that you guys are looking at that are like, I
Well,
mean,
I still have a few, and one of them is a long shot, but I just have to confirm. I want to see. Okay, offensive player of the year. Here we are. So on BetMGM, Eckler is 6,600.
Jesus.
So DraftKings is either just juicing everyone up to where you just can't even get a good bet down. But to me, it seems like some sites might be behind because for a guy in that offense who did what we did last year, I don't know. That seems like pretty good odds for a guy like that.
New offensive coordinator there. So
Yeah, I like that a lot. So BetMGM plus 6,600. So my two, well, one of them is the chalk because I just like you were saying, Joe Burrow, I think wins MVP. Well, he's winning MVP. I have a feeling like Jamar Chase could be winning that offensive player of the year. I think he's the best wide receiver in the NFL. And yeah, so that's like my chalk pick. It's the offensive player of the year award has become more of a wide receiver award. The MVP award is like a QB thing, but with this league becoming more and more pass heavy, these receivers are just putting up these crazy, crazy years. Like we saw Justin Jefferson win it last year, I believe, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So I think this is Jamar Chase's year, but to pair with like my Dak Prescott MVP, if I think he could have an MVP type year, CD Lamb is plus 6,000. So like kind of on par with that Eckler. And last year he was fourth in receptions, sixth in receiving yards, and sixth in touchdowns. And I think CD Lamb I think is one of the best receivers in the league, and I think those are two great. Like I mean Garrett Wilson, you have like plus 2,200. I just don't think there should be that big of a discrepancy between someone like him and CD Lamb.
Yeah. One
There's
that
so many receivers ahead of Lamb, but
Yeah.
If you believe in Dak, I guess, then yeah.
I mean, if you don't think he had a good year last year, I mean, I just told you what Lamb's numbers were last year.
you can also get, I know we're not covering this one, but you can also get CD at plus 2,500 for most receiving yards. He's got the 10th best odds right now in that category, which just feels way too low.
Yeah. I like Lamb a lot this year. So yeah, those are my two. So let's move on to defensive player of the year. Nick?
I'm going with the homer pick here, Myles Garrett. He's put up 15 sacks in 3 out of the past 5 years. I think he's going to do it again. And this year, what's different? He's got a new defensive coordinator who's more aggressive. We have the most talent around him on the defensive line. Dalvin Tomlinson stuffing up the middle. Zadarius Smith on the other edge. So he's got a really good threat on the other side. And he was by far the most double teamed player last year. I think with the added talent, he's going to see a lot more one-on-ones, which is going to lead to a lot more sacks. I think he's got a shot at 20. So I think he's going to go for defensive player of the year and be one of the main reasons the Browns make the playoffs and ultimately win that division.
Okay. Corey?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Man, it usually goes to like a defensive end player. They're the odds on favorites, the top 3, top 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go TJ Watt. I mean, if he didn't get hurt last year, I think he would have had it instead of Micah Parsons. But in terms of what he's doing for that defense, I mean, their defense isn't even that team is not even that good. And the fact that what he's doing on the field is absolutely insane. I think he's probably better than JJ was, or he will be. He's just insane talent. At plus 800. I know it's kind of chalky there. But I just he had it locked up last year till he got hurt. So I'm gonna say TJ Watt there.
By the way, Nick Bosa won it last year.
Bosa, sorry, not Parsons.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
was 2 years ago, I think.
Must have been.
Yeah. So to your point, Corey, only one cornerback in the last 10 years has won it. Does anyone know who that is?
Yeah, Darrelle Revis.
Last 10 years.
Oh, last 10.
Patrick Peterson.
Gilly Locks. So in that season, Stephon Gilmore had 20 passes deflected or defensed and 6 interceptions, which led the league in both. The guy I'm going to go with, Sauce Gardner at plus 1,300, last year had 20 passes defensed. I can't say that. Passes defense, which led the league, and only 2 interceptions. But I think the Jets are going to be playing from ahead way more often now that they have Rodgers. You saw what Sauce did in a defense that was playing from behind pretty much every single game. So the offenses that they're facing now are going to be forced to pass significantly more. And I think Sauce is going to have a lot more opportunities to boost those already insane stats. So plus 1,300. Give me the sauce.
That's just too much sauce.
Too much sauce.
I'm going with the chalk here at defensive player of the year. Give me Micah Parsons plus 700 on FanDuel.
You are such a Cowboys homer, dude.
Yeah, what the heck?
You
going for Mike McCarthy, coach of the year too?
No, definitely not.
Unreal.
Definitely not.
MVP, offensive and defensive player.
Well, I mean, the MVP and offensive player is like a correlated bet because if you could parlay, I don't think you can because it would just crush Vegas. If you could ever like parlay like Burrow, Chase with some of these awards, it's such good bets. But you can't.
Yes, you can.
You can?
Yeah, you can parlay.
Whenever I do, you pair them, and it's like it doesn't allow you to like pair certain things.
Yeah, I don't think you can on FanDuel.
What do you mean? Oh,
I tried to do Burrow and Chase.
Yeah, it would be right. Too good of a bet. So yeah, those are just correlated things. I mean, but Micah Parsons, the reason why, so he has 26 and a half sacks his first 2 years in the league. Now he's moving to defensive end full time. They're not using him. I mean, I know he wasn't like really a linebacker, but they're just moving him to defensive end. And as we know, that's kind of what defensive player of the year is. It's a defensive end award. And this guy's a freak. And so this position, I'm going with the chalk here. And I think Micah Parsons. some of the I mean, there's quite a few where I just like the favorite. The MVP one was kind of MVP and Coach of the Year are my kind of more off the wall ones, but yeah, so that'll do it for
Speaking of coach of the year, who you got, PB?
Are we on that or are we on offensive rookie?
We can do either.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Well, let's do. What do you want to do? What do you guys want to do?
Coaches. He called it out. Let's do it.
All right, coaches. Well, who wants to start us off?
Alex, kick us off. You brought it up. All right, Corey, go ahead.
I'm starting.
Okay, so who I've got for
sorry, that comment. I mean, that guy's he's never gonna watch this again.
I've got it's gonna be one of 4 guys, and I have the list. Let's see if you guys name them. That's all that matters. I know who it's one of these 4 guys. Like it's everything is
the ball. It's just I know.
Tell me who. Let's see who you guys have.
I mean, the reason why it should be Sean Payton just because of what he's going to do for the Broncos. I mean, for God's sakes, they won like what 4 games last year. Like it's such a toss up. I mean, it's a layup. I mean, in terms if he can get them to the playoffs, which I mean, they are in the hardest division in all of pro football, in the AFC West. But like, I mean, dude, plus 1,200, and he gets a insanely good defense, and an offense that's pretty good in terms of the weapons that they have. I mean, I think that's a pretty good bet. I mean, that defense is just
you got one of them. You got one of them.
Better. So plus 1,200. I don't think he's a great coach, but I mean, he's put in a great situation. So
yeah, Sean Payton is definitely my favorite. So that's one of the 4.
I'll go with Bob Saleh. I think he's set up pretty nicely here. Plus 1,800 makes him the 5th best odds, or tied for 4th best odds. I mean, we saw what Aaron Rodgers did for Matt LaFleur. LaFleur. And I refuse to go in the division, even though my other pick would be within the division. So Bob Saleh, I think, has got a good shot at it.
You got 2 of the 4. Let's go. We're on a streak here. That's plus 1,800, not right, FanDuel?
Yeah.
Okay. Nick?
I'm gonna bet Mike McDaniel at plus 2,200. I think Tyreek Hill saying he only has a couple of years left. Tua's put on some weight. In a good way. Like, he's put on muscle. He's probably not going to get 7 concussions this year. He's got a new helmet. So I think the Dolphins are going to make a run. They were the hottest team in the NFL before all the Tua injuries. So I think they're going to continue that this year, make a big playoff push, and McDaniel for Coach of the Year. He runs an awesome offense. I'll tell you that.
Got our first red X. So the Coach of the Year goes to teams that did not make the playoffs the year prior. They make it this year, and they outperform their previous year by 4+ wins and like their Vegas win total by multiple wins. So what you said, Sean Payton first. I mean, they won 5 games last year. They literally need to win like 9-10 games and make the playoffs, and he's one of the top candidates. Robert Saleh, the Jets won 7 games. They just need to win like around 11, so a little more difficult. So but that could easily happen. So you have him. The last 2, which I think fit the bill, are so Mike McDaniel, like they made the playoffs last year and they had 9 wins. He would have to like really go crazy like to win that.
Yeah, I think they will. Jalen, he got Jalen Ramsey. Like, that defense is going to be nutty.
So how many wins do you think they get?
I think they could be a 13-win team, easy.
All right, well, that's what you need, and for another team not like the Broncos not to have a good year as well. So the next 2 I have are in the same division because this division is now wide open in the NFC. You have the Saints and the Falcons, and both teams, the Saints had 7 wins last year. Falcons had 7 wins. and one of those teams is going to win the division and make the playoffs. So neither of them made it last year, and that's Arthur Smith at plus 1,800 on FanDuel, and Dennis Allen, which is probably Sean Payton is who I think wins it, but I'd say my favorite value is Dennis Allen at plus 3,000 on BetMGM. I, it's just there's no like name other teams that like fit this bill of didn't
So
make.
so you think the Saints are going to put up 11 wins?
Yeah, I think the Saints could put up 11.
Dude, you are out of your mind.
Also-
11 wins with Derek Carr.
I mean,
Did you see him run an offense last year with Devontae Adams? He couldn't do anything.
Doesn't the
What's
coach
the-
of the year have to go to a head coach? Dennis Allen's not a head coach.
Yeah, he is. He's the head coach of the Saints.
Yeah, he's not a real coach. He sucks at his job.
So Nick, you're acting like it's crazy for them to win that many games when
Yes.
they have the easiest. They have the
That's
easiest,
exactly what he's doing.
They have the easiest schedule in the entire league,
I don't care.
and their win total is what?
And they have Derek
wins.
Carr.
It doesn't matter.
Let's
You know who
recap
they
this.
play?
Derek Carr won what 5 games last year.
You
he
see
had,
who they
He
play.
had the best running back in the league stats wise. He had Devontae Adams, Darren Waller, and now he goes to a team that has.
He was in the
bunch of
AFC. Nick, do you see what
who's
division?
their running back? Nobody. So he has no run game. Okay, then we're
It
going to go to
doesn't
wide
matter.
receiver. You have a washed up Michael Thomas who's going to break his. You're just going to have turf toe for another 14 weeks. Then you got Chris Olave running down the field. Oh wait, Derek Carr can't throw it past 40 yards. You're going to have the Drew Brees curse on him, and then you expect him to win 11 games. You're out of your mind.
Out of
Nick,
your mind.
They literally
Come back to earth.
Their win total is that. So just because your emotions can't grasp it, that's what
I'm looking at pure statistics.
Their win totals is
They're not
9.5.
looking at. Yeah, 9.5. They literally just have to. That's a completely reasonable. They're already almost 3 wins over their.
Guess which side has the juice?
9.5. It's probably pretty close to being even on both sides.
The under has the juice.
Okay. Still, 9.5 is the win total. There's no other team that has a win total besides the Broncos, I'd bet, that's that much higher than how many wins they had last season. So at plus 3,000, he's definitely a great bet.
Do you think your team got any better this offseason?
Yeah, because we got Derek Carr over. Did you see who we were rolling out last year? Andy Dalton.
Okay, I think Derek Carr is marginally better. And what else? What did you do on the defensive side of the ball? You got a lot older, and Cam Jordan, Honey Badger, Demario Davis. All those guys are 33 plus this year.
You have to understand that we have there's probably 1 or 2 games that we're going to be underdogs in. Like every single week, you'll be looking at the Vegas odds, and the Saints will be favorites. You'll just every week you'll see.
Okay, well, let's go on to the offensive rookie of the year because I really don't give a shit about the Saints. Nor do I care about.
I
just can't believe we're starting this in May already. Come on.
I said I think the Saints are just in purgatory for however long Derek Carr is there. We're never winning a Super Bowl with him. But yeah, I mean, this is just a good bet. Like we're going to the playoffs and we're gonna lose. Like that's just what's gonna happen. Like this is still a good bet.
Yeah, I want you to have a happy summer, so I'll just agree with you.
Won't be happy. I know we can't win a Super Bowl, so I'm real.
Come September, reality is going to set in hard, but we'll deal with it then.
You're a Browns fan. All right, next.
Offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can just. Are we all in agreement on this one?
No, probably not.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's a good bet to go chalk here. I think just Bijan at plus 250.
I just think he's going to absolutely crush.
He totally could. And I think just for such low odds on a running back who could potentially sit out a few games just due to the injury risk, it's not my favorite bet here. And my favorite bet is plus 600 Anthony Richardson. He's a dual threat QB. Out of any rookie quarterback, he has by far the best wide receiver in Michael Pittman. We have a coach who's brought young QB talent into pretty significant levels, aka Jalen Hurts. And I think he's poised from a QB perspective to have the best rookie year. I don't think you could say CJ Stroud on the Texans is going to have a breakout year. I don't necessarily think that Bryce Young is going to do that great. Just like his receivers are Chark, Thielen,
Bingo.
and people really like Jonathan Mingo and have rookie fever for him. But, I think they don't have a lot of great playmakers that are solidified. So I think Anthony Richardson has the best shot from a QB perspective. So I'm going to bet that at plus 600. Honorable mention for JSN. Think he could rack up 1,000-yard season out of the slot for Seattle.
Dude, and the thing, Jalen Hurts was terrible his rookie year, and Jalen Hurts coming in the NFL was by far a better prospect than Anthony Richardson is in terms of his throwing ability. Like a plus 700. I mean, I understand why it is because of his running ability, but we haven't seen the guy play in the NFL yet. And I plus 700 and coming off of an okay season at Florida, I think that's way too low at plus 700. I understand why it's there, but I mean, yeah.
Do you like any of the other rookie quarterbacks better?
No, I don't think you should bet a rookie quarterback for this because rookie quarterbacks tend to do very, very bad in their rookie season. There's very few that actually excel. Actually, I don't even know the last one that did really, really well. But
Probably
Andrew Luck, actually, that was probably the last one that.
Joe Burrow.
No, he got hurt.
All right. Well, he was doing good before that.
Yeah,
Maybe
so
Deshaun Watson.
I don't know, honestly. I can't remember, but I know Andrew Luck won it his rookie year. But yeah, I mean, I think Bijan is just. I mean, I think it's an easy lock at plus 300. I mean, I don't think you can get any more value on this. I mean, might as well bet it now or add it to a fucking parlay. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, when you go for like 15, like however many touchdowns, like double digit touchdowns and like 1,500 plus scrimmage yards, like how do you not win this award?
Yeah.
So,
Who was the offensive rookie of the year last year?
let me check that real quick.
It was a
Garrett
lot.
Wilson.
It's Garrett Wilson, yeah.
Garrett Wilson.
Yeah. It was between him and Olave.
Yep. But yeah, Bijan is just, it's like Saquon when he won it his rookie year, just easy.
Mhm.
Okay. Is that who you have, Alex Bijan?
Yes, sir.
Plus 300. Okay. I don't have like defensive rookie. I just am not even touching it. I think it's so like you could see someone you've never really heard of step in. Like, I don't know. I think it's so crazy
Yep.
across the board.
That one does feel like a little bit more of a crapshoot, but don't hate Jalen Carter at plus 700.
Yeah.
Being a part of that Eagles defensive line where he'll never see a double team in his entire life. I mean, he might not start and play every snap, every down, so that might limit him a bit, but the opportunity is going to be there. So he's the second favorite behind Will Anderson. But yeah, I agree. It does feel a bit more like a crapshoot on defensive rookie.
Dude, what about like like you said, just like long shots, like Adi for the Colts at plus 6,000 is pretty crazy. And he's going to get a lot of playing time.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. It's like there's so many defensive players that could win it.
Yeah.
I mean, Deontay Banks, Joey Porter, Brian Branch, Khalid Kancey, Will McDonald,
Yeah.
Jack Campbell.
I'm surprised you didn't go with your homer pick, Mozzie Smith.
Oh, the Cowboys.
Plus 5,000.
Yeah, I'm not touching
very hard
any.
to win. That'd be very hard to win with Parsons there.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to do comeback player of the year or is that a wash too?
It's probably, I mean, so it's kind of like the discrepancy between Eckler plus 1,500 on DraftKings and then like 6,600 on BetMGM. I mean, FanDuel has Damar Hamlin at minus 250 and then DraftKings has him at minus 650. I think if he steps on the field this year, he's winning it.
Yeah. I mean, I think he has to more than step on the field, but yeah, I mean that's what the NFL wants, and it's like parade around a puppet like Damar Hamlin. But like someone who's actually going to be beneficial to like their team. Like,
Does it matter though if we think that's as long as he like? Do you think the odds? What do you think the odds of him playing?
mean-
And he's already. I'm pretty sure he said that he wants to return. Wants to play. And the doctor
I know
cleared him.
he's cleared. Yeah, he's very
He's
clear.
in OTAs right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, like I think he's gonna like. I think he's gonna play, and that's
It's
just
very rare you see a season award total line that low this far out from the season. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
Could you like so what do you think these odds shift? The second, let's say it's week 3 or like some big game. Maybe it's like when do the Bills play the Bengals? Do they play?
yeah, I think they do again.
I could like
Yeah.
watch him return in that game.
I mean, he's definitely. I'm not saying he's not going to play, but just someone that's going to be like Cooper Kupp at plus 2,500. I mean, for God's sakes, he was offensive player of the year 2 years ago. Like, I mean, and he has.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone else has good value too.
I mean,
Yeah,
Lamar
their
Jackson.
value because Damar Hamlin is just gonna win it, so they just price everyone like, oh yeah, just take your shots at these guys that aren't gonna win it, and
Yeah.
they're all gonna be great values.
Yeah, I don't think like Russ or Tua are terrible bets. Like throw, a little sprinkle some pizza money on it, but
I mean,
I
Russ.
think you bet Damar Hamlin or you just don't even bet it.
You have to
Yeah.
bet a player who was hurt, because if Russell Wilson, he's not going to win comeback player of the year if he has better shot of winning MVP than comeback player of the year. Like, just because you sucked the year before doesn't mean you automatically get it. It's usually meant for someone who like played like one or
Died
two.
on the field. Yeah, it's usually meant for those guys. Died on the field and then returns to play football the next season. It's reserved for those guys.
I think this
And
is
when you can get
update.
minus 250, like I don't know. And I could see like it being that where they're like, man, we don't know if he plays this year, but we know if he steps on the field, he's gonna win it. And so it's like, but the fact that we are pretty confident he's going to return and play this year, I just do not see an outcome like the second he steps on the field. I think this market you'll see it's gonna be like either taken off the board or it's gonna be absolutely crazy odds in favor of Hamlin.
No, it is what it is.
So I think it's either Hamlin bet or just avoid.
Yeah. Well,
The NFL wants him to win it too. It's just they're getting everything possible for him to win this award.
I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying I feel like it should be meant for a player who benefits the team, and I don't know if he's going to do that.
Yeah, the morale of the team.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, I guess they play the Bengals like week 8 or 9. We could just have that checked off like Damar Hamlin returns this game. All right. That'll do it for this episode. We'll maybe do a post on our Instagram putting all of this together of our favorite bets for the awards, but we'll be back. We're probably going to do the best ball draft. Seemed to do well on YouTube.
For that one dickhead, but let him fly.
Yeah, we'll have to do another best ball draft.
Hey, no comments or bad comments. We're getting interaction.
Just
Bring all the hate.
did I see there was an
your draft.
underdog tournament for like $500 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, the bull. That's the one. Frankie
Bulldog or the Greyhound or something. Yeah.
They got the Chow Chow out,
Chow
$50.
Chow, $50.
But anyways,
They're gonna have so many tournaments. I just have to like preserve your bankroll because they're gonna have so many tournaments this summer.
So crazy.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
maybe we'll do a Bulldog draft. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Crazy with it.
$500. All right. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.